Hey, this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the Popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I'm going to show you how to make a KFC copycat of chicken strips. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. So to cook chicken strips like KFC in the air fryer, the ingredients are incredibly simple, especially if you've already created the production line that I've already mentioned, which is the flour, the egg and the breadcrumbs. Beyond this, you only actually need one other ingredient, and that is chicken breasts. The better quality the chicken breast, the better the chicken strips. So we're actually using M&S skinless breast fillets, but of course any will do. And then all you need to do is slice them lengthways to make them into strips, and then they follow the bowl system of the flour, the egg and then the breadcrumbs. And I'll be passing you over to my lovely husband Dominic for this, because he's a chef and he's really good at that kind of thing. So cooking any kind of KFC chicken in the air fryer does involve needing a production line. This production line works at speeding you up in the kitchen so that you can quickly bread lots of chicken at the same time. And you can also make yourself a KFC fakeaway and do quite a few different KFC recipes at the same time, and then have a wonderful Friday or Saturday night supper with your family. So first of all, this production line involves 3 bowls: flour, beaten eggs and breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs we made yesterday from some stale bread that we had using our Thermomix, and the flour has just been lightly seasoned, and the eggs are just plain eggs, nothing else. So what I recommend you add to it for doing any kind of KFC chicken, from doing zingers to fried chicken to doing popcorn chicken, is to add salt and pepper to the breadcrumbs. You want a bit of colour from the pepper in there, because KFC chicken is known for its pepper. And then I also recommend that you add some of your favourite seasoning to the flour, because it gives it some extra flavour. I'm using some basil. I would normally use some kind of poultry season, but I haven't got any left, and it's all about improvising. You don't want to have to go to the shop just for some seasoning. So that's your flour mixed. Like I said, your eggs I'm just leaving alone. And then this leaves my KFC spice blend. What I do is I make a really big jar of it, and then I can use it in multiple KFC chicken recipes. Also, we do have a video for the KFC spice blend, and the recipe is in full on RecipeThis.com. I recommend in general to add 2 tablespoons to the breadcrumbs. Couple of heaped ones there, but also note we've added a lot more flour there and breadcrumbs compared to the recipes we've got on Recipe This, because we're going to make multiple lots of chicken at the same time. So considering we've got extra breadcrumbs, I'm just going to add a 1/3 heaped tablespoon, and then you want to give the breadcrumbs a great mix. And then if you take a look at that, that's the kind of colouring you wanted to go for. So if you haven't weighed out your breadcrumbs, because sometimes you just can't be bothered, you just want to get on with it, just make sure you've got some colour to them like that, and then they'll be fine. And then this here is from 4 lots of our KFC spice blend, and we've just used 1 lot towards this. So that's the kind of amount that you need when you're doing KFC chicken. So now that you've got your 3 bowls ready, you're actually ready to cook any of our KFC chicken recipes in the air fryer. So then, over to Dominic. You know, these chicken breasts are M&S, so they're really good quality, you know, and they're also quite big. So if your chicken breasts are small, then what you can do is you can actually use 3 breasts instead. Or another option is you can also use chicken filleted breasts that are already sliced and diced for you, as it saves you a job here. And there you have it, that's the chicken breasts ready, sliced up, ready to go. And now it's time for your production line. But of course, first what I recommend you do is you give your hands a wash from the raw chicken. And then I also recommend, like you can see in the video, that you have a spare plate to put the chicken in once you've breaded it before it goes in the air fryer. It just makes it so much easier. And insert into the flour. Make sure it's well covered in the flour. Then it's time to head to the egg. So you want to make sure it's drenched in the egg. It's a bit harder when you're doing these chicken strips because they're quite small, so you have to go looking for them like Dominic is. And then into the breadcrumbs mixture. Make sure they're not too overly wet, as you can see the way Dominic's pulling them out of there. Then also note that he's just using his left hand for both the flour and for the egg. And this is because, to save a hand wash, he can then use his right hand for the breadcrumbs and then just keep his other left hand out of the way. And wow, the breading on that looks absolutely fantastic. And as you can see, we've got a huge bowl. There's way too much breadcrumbs there for just doing chicken strips with, or for turning your chicken strips into a twister. So what you want to do there is you've then got lots of breadcrumbs so that you can bread loads of chicken. So do head over to recipethis.com, search KFC, and there's a free printable recipe card for all the recipes that we've mentioned here. I mean, we've got popcorn chicken, your classic fried chicken there as well. We've got the zinger burger, and they're all absolutely delicious, cooked in the air fryer. And like us, you can do a production line. You can then load them onto a plate, and you can have a few different plates in your fridge with the different KFC fakeaway recipes of ours. And then let's say when it comes 6 o'clock tonight and you want to have a KFC night, you've got all the food ready to go and you just need to cook it in batches in the air fryer. And it just makes a fantastic cheap way to enjoy KFC at home. For example, when we've cooked this ourselves before, your biggest expense is your chicken. Beyond this, you know, breadcrumbs from a couple of cheaper bread loaves from Aldi that are reduced price, you know, a bit of flour and egg is really, really cheap. And I'm always shocked by how much KFC costs. Just make sure they get a good coating, because if you fail to get a good coating on them, then it'll come off and you'll end up with naked parts where there's no breadcrumbs on it after it's been air fried. And then down to the last batch now. It can feel like it takes forever because there's only so many you can fit in each bowl at once. So these are the last final ones. And then you can give your chopping board a quick clean, and you can get your next lot of chicken on the go onto another plate. For example, you could do these chicken strips, or you could do the twisters, and then you could also do some popcorn chicken. The zinger is my favourite out of all of them that we've done for KFC, but you might have your own favourite. And then, like you're watching him do, give it a good shake in there. It makes the breading process so much easier. Keep turning it until it's properly coated. And there you go, that's all the chicken strips ready to be cooked in the air fryer. Right, so it's getting later in the day, kids are going to be home shortly, so our make ahead chicken strips are now ready for loading in the air fryer. And then just do as many that will fit in your air fryer. You don't want any on top of each other, like those were then. But they don't need to be too spread out either, so just go with whatever space you've got and whichever air fryer you're personally using. See if we can do better actually. I'm just going to lose some of these smaller bits and go with some of the bigger ones instead. So that's what happens when you end up with them of different sizes. So I think that's much better. So there you have 5 of your chicken strips in. You'll notice we've still got all these other chicken strips here, and that'll just give us the chance to do a few batches of the chicken strips until they're all cooked. And then you want to set the temperature to 180 Celsius and then the time to 8 minutes, and then we can check on our chicken strips and see if they need any longer. And we beeped. Wow, don't those chicken strips look amazing even already? Now, the next trick is to turn them over, because you want an equal crisp on them. And as you can see, they're coming along perfectly. The Philips air fryer, compared to other air fryers, has better air circulation below the basket, so that's why you're already starting to get a crisp on the bottom. You wouldn't get that same crisp on another air fryer like that. And then if you want to put them back on, another 3 minutes at 180 Celsius. That's 360 Fahrenheit. So whilst the air fryer is on the final cook time, it's time to make your KFC style mayonnaise. So you want to grab your favourite mayonnaise. Ours isn't open yet. And then you want to load some mayonnaise into a bowl. I am improvising here because we're staying at a country cottage. I'm not at home and haven't got the normal serving dishes, so I'm actually using a little cup for my mayonnaise. And then what you want to add to your mayonnaise is some lemon juice. And then you also want to add a little bit of your KFC spice. Don't want to add too much because you don't want it to end up too spicy. And then simply mix your lemon juice and your KFC blend into your mayonnaise. And give it a quick taste test. Right, that needs a little bit more of the KFC. And as you can see, from the paprika and the cayenne, it gives it a wonderful colour, just like the kind of colour your mayonnaise has from KFC. Get around the sides and then just give it a little bit more taste test. And that is lovely. And then when your air fryer beeps, we can be loading the KFC strips onto the plate, and then we've got a fantastic snack. And we beeped. Wow. Perfectly cooked KFC chicken strips. Ideal for the mayonnaise we just made. So, and as you can see, they come out in the air fryer absolutely perfect. The crisp on them is amazing. If you do want more of a crisp on them, you could simply spray them with some extra virgin olive oil and then cook them for an extra 3 minutes at 200 Celsius. But I really don't think it needs it because it's just lovely as it is. And the air fryer is really easy to clean afterwards as well. It's just the crumbs that have fallen off from the breading, and that's it. So you can just tap them into a bin bag and they're soon gone. So I can't wait to tuck in. I just need to wait for them to cool down a little bit. So the chicken strips are cool enough for now for me to do a taste test. And as you can see, they look really, really good. And they're really crispy on touch as well. And these are really nice. And also with the chicken, we use M&S chicken and it's so much better. So quite often the quality of the chicken you use does make a difference in these recipes as well. And of course, Dominic's perfect breading as well. I mean, that is just perfectly breaded. So if you've not done chicken strips in the air fryer yet, then this is how it's done. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.